Welcome back to the European Pro League kickoff LAN tournament event. Call it what you will. We're having a lot of fun. 3-0 to David rather than Goliath right now. And also 1-0 in our first game. Jason, we're not meant to know, I'm not meant to know much about Smite, but what I did know about it was that TSM and Cloud9 were the dominant forces in qualification, and yet they're going down like flies right now.
I had Coast winning, right? I didn't back TSM, I think. I don't know. It was interesting because, well, Rom was let through again, and, well, he went 11-1. Shaggy had a fantastic game on that one. We even had Ninja over on Hunbots having an 8-4 scoreline. A fantastic game, but there was something that happened in the beginning. I mean, one thing we noticed is that Coast Blue could come back from a deficit.
Yeah, I mean, they were 3K down in gold. They were 6K down in experience. And at that point, you kind of thought, I think we've seen enough here to know that TSM are the stronger team. And then all of a sudden, it starts getting to the sort of medium late game. And Team Coast just go, it's our time. And they filled their boots. I mean, it was a 12K gold swing.
Mm-hmm. It's really weird because usually, in Smite, you think of if a team gets an advantage, especially, a high caliber team like Cloud9 or TSM, they would snowball that advantage and they would win really quickly. But again, Coast, I really like how we saw with them and SK that they can play from behind, keep their composure and come back and win big games here. And now going into game 2, you have to wonder, TSM have to be devastated because they did not expect that at all.
Do you, we spoke to Reels earlier on and I said to him, I put it to him, Bart actually picked up the point that he noticed SK were playing very passively and they were inviting Cloud9 to come onto them. That was their game plan. When we spoke to Reels afterwards, he was like, yeah, that's exactly what we wanted them to do, and they fell for it. Do you think that maybe Team Coast have looked at that and gone, they might be onto something here? Because they did seem to be inviting them on a little bit.
I wonder if it was like SK maybe, before we got here today, we're like, this strategy works really well. Maybe you should try that against, TSM. It's something that could very well happen, but it doesn't matter if they had that game plan or not. They still execute things extremely well, and that is so hard to do, again, when you're down, like you said, 3,000 gold, 12K gold swing. I'm getting there. And not to mention the XP difference, which is huge in this point.
All right, well, thank you very much for now. We're going to swing on over to the commentary team because it's time for game number 2 in our second semi-final. Bart, take it away.
Thank you very much, Paul, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 in a best-of-3 series between Team SoloMid and Coast Gaming Blue. TSM down 1-0.
They are, and that was surprising. Honestly, after the start of the game, I expected TSM were just going to continue to snowball it.
Yeah, indeed.
They took the lead, and we see it time and time again from them that it's very hard to take a lead off them, but Coast did that.
They did.
Coast came out of the gates and knew what to go on. What was going to happen.
Like you were saying, it traditionally is almost impossible to wrestle a lead away from TSM, but stabilizing unbelievably well was Coast Blue there in that game. And then, as you saw, however it happened, Shaggy Shank ends up being way ahead. Now, granted, it's that kill into Trick Sank we were saying that maybe sprung him. Neith had gone back at that point after shooting out the ultimate and then chases down the support. And it just made so much room. It gave him that extra item. And once you're an item up on a Neith who doesn't scale as well as you do, there was almost nothing they could do. Difference. And I think you made a really good point with all the gems of isolations that they had out on that team. It was almost a 4-protect-1 style of strategy.
Yep.
I mean, they were holding the Hunbot's ultimate often to peel away from the Rom, who's doing so much damage.
That's right. I mean, with that as well, when that team tries to dive in for Shaggy Shank, if Shaggy's allowed to stay still and use his auto attacks with the penetration of his, his arrows coming through that as well, it's a wider shot. It does more damage. It's going to penetrate through and deal damage to the whole team that are diving him. He can pick them off before he even makes it there.
Yeah, it's all things told. I expect Rom to be banned.
Me too. This is 3 games we've seen him in now, and
incredibly dominant
3
in all
wins.
3 games.
3 wins, 100% win ratio so far. So, going into this one, if I don't see a Rom ban here, I'm really surprised. I'll be really asking, even if TSM win, I'd be like, why didn't you ban Rom?
What is this life?
Unless you want to pick it yourself. Now, TSM going into this game, though, they're going to have second pick. They chose to go second this time round. And they had the option this time round to go second again. Yeah, they went second both times.
Yeah. But this will bring us into the picking and banning phase. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Coast up 1-0 over Team SoloMid. Their first ban coming through shortly, once again, taking Thor away from Fred.
Not a surprise. I mean, Thor's Fred is ridiculously strong. He's so controlling in the jungle with that one. We saw him on Chuck that game, and Chuck's a different style of jungler overall than what you see from the Thor. Thor's aggressive on the forefront, making those ganks happen. Chuck's sort of a mid-game safer.
So, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, they got the chalk, but they almost felt like they were lacking in damage because of how aggressive, when a hunter gets that far ahead, how aggressive he can play against those mages that were the bulk of the damage. One crit, and they were basically out of the fight. So it was all well and good until Shaggy Shank got out of control, but the final ban's coming through, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen, your respect ban onto Rom.
It had to be done.
Rom.
If it wasn't Rom. If it wasn't done, I was really surprised it wasn't already, but for it to finally be done this time around, it shows how strong Rom really is, and how the players have finally got to grips with how strong this god is overall, and are finding ultimate, using those ultimates, winning 2v1 in fights, in the duo lane. That's ridiculous.
So who does this leave open as a first pick for Coast?
Well, Hubwa is like probably top pick, top ban right now. I feel Hubwa gets through a lot of the banning stages because there's too many others like Osiris or individual ones. So Hubwa probably.
And there it is.
I didn't even cheat for that either. To be honest, I did not even cheat. I was literally like, I expect a Hubwa pickup. Because on top of that, Game Hunter still made an influence in that game. Even from the solo lane, he got ahead early on. And if you notice in the team fights, they had to focus him down first. He was the major threat. So take it away from him and put him on something else.
But now Team SoloMid taking a look at Zhongkui as well. So we may see a reprisal of the last solo game matchup. Zhongkui does stack up well against Hubwa, as we mentioned, but it was not that effective in the last game, as Game Hunter actually found a couple solo kills onto the Zhongkui being played by Variety.
I don't know if the Zhongkui is going to definitely be in the solo lane. That's my interesting thing. I know how these guys play. I think we'll see Game Hunter wanting to go with something more aggressive than a Zhongkui, Something that's got a lot more burst damage. He likes to play assassin like carry roles more than a sustained damage sort
of.
I guess
it kind of depends on whether or not we'll see the Agni pick. If Agni comes out, it's just such a good god for Lobster.
Yeah.
It's really one of his, kind of variety. I don't know why I said variety, but one of his hallmark kind of legendary gods for him. So a couple more picks coming through from Coast, and then one more for TSM before we go back into the next banning phase. And it looks like Coast is looking at their duo lane now. Athena and Artemis both locked right in. So snap picks from Coast onto Athena and Artemis.
It doesn't really hurt them to go for that whatsoever. I mean, Variety, Shaggy Shank going to be playing that Artemis in the lane. Apollo's on the table, but Artemis has a good matchups against Apollo overall. Only real issue is if they go for the Anher pick, and we know how good Smek's Anher can be.
Smek her.
So we'll see if they actually ban that one away. I'm interested if Coast go for that actually.
Freya going to be selected. The Queen of the Valkyries going to be the jungle most likely for Team SoloMid. Of course, they can still play her in that duo role. Right. However unlikely it is, it would have to be a pocket strat if they do indeed go for that. And now the final ban coming out for TSM, it is going to be Raw taken out. In response, Apollo removed by Team Coast, and this could be playing into Team SoloMid's hand if they intend on putting that Freya into the duo lane.
Yeah, I mean, if they do put it in the duo lane, that's the big question there. If they go for that, that's going to be a big shout out to Team SoloMid having to pull out a pocket strat in the first round game.
Against a team that is nowhere near as good as they are according to the standings.
Underestimated by everybody, pretty much.
Absolutely.
I mean, even when you talk to TSM,
underestimation.
When you talk to TSM, you talk to Cloud9, they're like, SK really good. No one talks about Coast. No one's mentioned them.
Coast's really good, I'll say it.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Shaggy Shank's a beast, and so is the rest of the team, and they're showing it today.
They are indeed. Neath going to be selected, so will not be the pocket strat that we all hoped and wished for.
I'm surprised by Neath here. I thought Anher might have been a better pick, just because it has a better matchup against Artemis overall. Obviously, when she pops the Caledonian Boar for the stun, you immediately use Desert Fury and get the damage off, and there's nothing she can do about it.
But this seems to be kind of the way things go. If you give away a top-tier Hunter pick, go ahead and pick Neath because she doesn't have a bad matchup.
That's right. She's very safe all-round pick there. On that one.
Indeed.
But with Freya actually in that role, we're going to see her probably in the jungle now. Definitely.
Indeed, yeah.
Overall.
Almost assuredly.
And that means, with the Mercury being picked up here from Team Coast, a little bit different coming out from there. I'm surprised they didn't go for Humbats again, because I feel like Ninja Bobat is ridiculously good on Humbats. He showed that in that game as well.
He did indeed, but the final picks coming through from Coast, Mercury and Ice is going to round out the lineup. Team SoloMid going to lock in the big baby Vamana to be their solo laner to appeal to. Will be the Zhongkui in the mid lane.
Last time I remember seeing him in a lot of...
Yeah, what did he do with the Vamana?
I don't know.
He's like okay, right?
He got a couple of kills.
Yeah, a couple of kills. I think like 5 or so.
Only 5.
Yeah,
in a row.
Game Hunter, I would say he's pretty good at this god.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's
hopefully we'll see some of it. I mean, the one thing I will say going into this now though, is TSM with Smek playing this Neath. I'll be interested if she goes for the Witchblade build. Now, he's the only one that really deviates away from... has deviated away from the Heartseeker and Devour's Gauntlet start. However, we'll see going into this if he goes for the Witchblade, because it actually is a very good item for mobility.
Sure.
You ignore the boots, go for the Heartseeker and the Witchblade, get the mobility off them, but also reduce the amount of attack speed coming out from the likes of Artemis, from the likes of Mercury as well. It could work well. Will he do it? That's the question. If he does, it'd be interesting to see what's going to play with him now.
Yeah, running very lean here is TSM. Only frontline to speak of is going to be I'm sorry, other way around there. Only frontline to speak of here for Coast is going to be Princess Tomato, so it could be a bit of an issue for them.
That's true. I mean, he is literally the only front line there. He's going to have the backup, though, of Variety, going to go in there with the Crushing Waves looking for something. But on the top of that as well, I mean, he's still got to go in and deal. So he's also going to have Ninja Bobat going in with Mercury looking to deal damage as well, if possible.
But let's go ahead and introduce your teams, ladies and gentlemen. It is game number 2 in a best-of-3 series. Team Coast up 1-0. And they are once again wearing the blue trunks on the bottom side of your minimap and the left side of your spectator UI. They are Carino in the mid lane once again as Isis. It'll be Variety in the solo as Habois with the tables turned now as he'll be going up against Game Hunter. Ninja Bobat and Princess Tomato will be your Mercury and Athena for the jungle and support role. Shaggy Shank, once again, the Hunter. He was such a force in the first game. We'll see if he can reprise it again as Artemis. Their opponents today wearing the red trunks out of the top side of the minimap and the right side of your spectator UI. So taking a look here as the teams roll out, there's going to be, looks like not too much aggression at the mid camps on either side here. It's going to be a safe start, it appears. Game Hunter will be building aggressively into that Stone of Gaia, going up against Habois. And maybe this was the answer that Zhonghui should have found as well.
We'll see as this one goes off. Mid camp's being contested by Game Hunter, though. Did actually steal those ones away. I'm not too sure. It looked close between the two of them, but Game Hunter tried to give himself a little bit of an XP boost there by trying to take him away.
Indeed, indeed, and away we go, my friends. Taking a look over at the duo lane where our hunters are going to be going at it. Shaggy Shank and Smek. Shaggy Shank a bit under the GPM. Obviously the win-loss rate going in favor of TSM. And KDA, Smek, the top in Europe with a 6.11 KDA. That's 6 kills and assists for every death.
Yeah, I mean, compared to looking at those stats, though, like, Smek has been in a lot more games in the tournament as well. So, there's a lot of damage onto Variety on that Habois. He's in a lot of trouble. He's actually away from his tower right now. Cuva's trying to look to bring him down, but Cuva's going to get caught out by Bobat overextending, and the turnaround does not go in favor of TSM this time. Variety's the one with the lead.
Oh my goodness, Coast once again out to an advantage. Is this going to be an SK versus Coast finals? Can you imagine? No one coming in this tournament would have selected that.
I mean, would you be surprised to see TSM and Cloud9 both sitting from the sidelines watching these guys play out in the final? This is like the warm-up to the Pro League. Can you imagine how intense the Pro League's going to be if these guys are going to come out like this each week?
Oh, I can't wait. But taking a look here now in the mid lane, it's a different story this time for Carino. He has the advantage up against Lobster, but will this be a similar game to last time where the team that is behind draws even into the mid game and takes the victory? Backflip coming out from Neath. Prince Tomato does have a dash. Will he be able to secure it? No, not just yet for kill in the duo lane.
A lot of poke onto Smek overall. He's going to have the Unravel. We'll use his health potion to sustain for now. But with that health potion being on cooldown, and he's not going to have another one available unless he goes back. He's going to watch his position a little bit better this time around now. But with that jungle kill going over to Ninja Bobat on that Mercury now, he's the one with the lead over a Freya. And we know what Freya's like, you know? She needs to get going in the jungle to really stand a chance. Otherwise, she's got to wait for the late game bot.
Neither of these gods in Mercury or Freya are gods you want to let get out ahead. Ideally, for both teams, they're drawing even. However, I do want to point out once again that Freya considered the primary counter pick to Vamana, and I think that's very much why we see the Vamana coming out of the solo lane here.
Yeah,
is that without the Freya, it's going to be much more difficult for Mercury to take him down.
Also, I think they're looking for Carino in mid lane as much as possible. But
Fred's got a great angle, but Bobat's here as well. The banish is going to come out, but the special delivery just connected. They put him into the wall. Cuba Fred in a lot of trouble now, trying to disengage, and it looks like he's going to be okay. Throwing out a hand on the gun, but there's an ultimate. It's going to miss. Auto attacks coming through. Will it be enough to find the goal? Cuba Fred stun coming out on the Lobster. No peel, no cry. Bobat gonna make it out of there.
Coast played that so well. The reason it went so well from Carino required Ninja Bobat to pick up that kill. He trusted in his teammate to pick it up, and he stunned out Lobster, so Lobster couldn't finish him off and protect his teammate. He had such reliability, such control for the fact that he expected Ninja Bobat to do that. It paid off for them.
Got a great angle on Bobat here, though. He's going to dash away with special delivery back towards the enemy base. However, Cuba Fred not in position, and with the speed buff, it's going to be enough. I think Bobat's going to be just fine. No, Neath ultimate ripping through. He's going to have to eat this. Is it enough? It is indeed. Smek finds the kill.
And with that as well, that's going to go over to Smek, which means that's going to help him out in that lane overall. He's been having issues with Shaggy Shank after game 1. Game 2, he's got a small lead now because of that one. If he can keep finding these assists with those
Athena channeling it onto the right side lane. Game Hunter could be in some trouble. Ultimate coming through from Variety. Do they have the damage? One more water hands. He needs a water spout, but he is tanking the tower. He has to disengage. Can he find the damage? Yes, he can. Indeed, Variety likely not to fall here. Very, very close, however. They do get an important kill onto that Vamana.
Onto Game Hunter as well. So now if you look at the stats, I mean, Cuba Fred's died twice in the jungle on Freya. He tried to rotate to middle lane, look for a gank early on and get himself back into this one. But in the end, we saw that Ninja Bobat had the same idea, came in middle himself, and the counter gang was fantastic from Coast.
Ward coverage actually very sparse in this game so far. Only 3 wards out on the map. Only 1 right now for TSM. And I think maybe that's why they're not seeing these counter initiations coming.
No, I mean, at the moment in this stage of the game, Coast are doing very well. I think they've settled in really nicely. I think Game 1 has given them such a boost in morale, you know, after come to this event, knowing they have to face someone like TSM. The world champions coming into this, you know? The world champions at a LAN event coming into this, and they get to face them in the first game of the ever play a LAN at. It's a tough ask, but they've come out on all cylinders, and that first game going in their favor has just allowed them to feel a bit more confident and, you know, start trying to make some plays themselves.
Yeah, it's translated into a small early game advantage for Coast, but nothing to write home to mom about just yet. We may have a bit of a gank coming into the right side, but this rotation from Fred has been spotted by Ward. You see Variety turn tail and go ahead and run, and that is going to be a failed gank attempt from the Freya.
Yeah, so for the time being, with 4.5 minutes in the game, and with this small lead for Coast, you know, 800 gold lead, experience only 500 though, and with those kills, it means that, you know, Coast is fine kills, but they've not been able to get anything off the back of it, you know, they're not been able to take an advantage, get an objective, and it's because they're also early game on, and TSM are great at farming.
They are indeed. Game Hunter actually taking a bit of harass there from Variety. Nice job using the knock up to the back side of the wave, and Game Hunter rare positioning snafu there, I think, for Game Hunter, as he actually is going to take a little bit more harass for his trouble as well.
So back to the duel lane, we can see Smek fighting off against Princess Tomato and Shaggy Shank. Smek with a level advantage over the Shaggy Shank in this lane. On top of that, Tomato's still hanging around this lane, sort of babysitting it right now. Still equal level with Trickstank though, but by him sticking around, he's absorbing a little bit of experience from Shaggy there.
Ultimate being channeled there by the Athena, but not going to be used.
You can see Ninja Bobat gonna go in. Sonic Boom connects. He's going for Smek. He's looking for the damage. The knockup from Trix was important.
He's in some trouble now.
Just out of range he was from the tower. So Smek not gonna find the kill to Bobat or the return damage, but Trix hasn't finished. Cataclysm goes off, and the ball gets popped defensively.
I think it's gonna be enough to disengage because Lobster's not gonna be able to close the distance. Fred trying to make his angle, but you know, I think Trickstank was trying to bait another engagement coming out there, but they were just a bit too savvy, throwing out the Caledonian Pour to avoid the majority of that damage, and it's gonna be a failed rotation from them as well. And then them, of course, being team solo mid. But Coast is here now and flirting with some danger. The ward is spotting out Carino's positioning right now just off of the orange buff. Orange buff respawning shortly here as well on the Coast side. They need to make sure this doesn't get stolen away. Yeah, well, mid-camp spawning as well, so you can see TSM already rotating into there. Ninja's going to have to do his speed buff, like you said, to secure it. Make sure they can't steal, but that's going to give up that left camp for free to TSM. And if they get the right one as well, then that small skirmish on the left-hand side that was initiated by Coast technically went in TSM's favor as we have a little check back in with the Hunters. Yeah, given all of this, though, it has made some room for Game Hunter. He did force Hubwa out of the lane, has found some nice farm for himself, sitting at level 9 Variety as well in the solo lane on the Hubwa. And, you never want to see a Vamana in the late game. It's just a terrifying proposition. He's going to have his boots finished. He's going to build likely next into the Chin size. Could be a Heartseeker, but it's a bit late for it after boots. But let's take a look quickly here at our junglers. Bobat versus Fred. Win-loss, once again, of course, going to TSM with a lot more games won. KDA also in Fred's favor here. GPM also in Fred's favor, but this has been Ninja Bobat's game. And let's hold that thought as Coast is going to go ahead and initiate the Gold Fury. Well, it is Trickstank once again, and we stole a Fire Giant earlier on. Smeg's going to use that, but he's not going to be able to find a kill as Trickstank gets hit by the taunt from Tomato, and that's going to go over to Team Coast. Smeg's World Weaver did not pay off there overall for them, and they couldn't find it, and Coast made a great call again. Yeah, well-played Spirit Ball as well from Isis there to prevent a positioning advantage from the Freya after the banish, throws it out into the perfect spot and detonates it, not necessarily trying to stun anyone out, but just making sure they couldn't get anything on the back of that banish. Yeah, but I mean, going back to the junglers, we saw the stats on the screen a little bit earlier on, just before that fight. Tomato's actually caught out of position. That's a big root coming off, and Tomato's actually in a lot of trouble here, trying to juke his way out, and Shaggy Shank did great work to actually help body block and get him out of trouble. So lucky. He crit back to back there onto Smek to force that disengage. Carino rotating out, spotted out by the ward. They're going to be forced back as well. And a quick counter ward as well. Why not? Yeah, a quick counter ward going down as well. I mean, I like the rotation from Carino. If that broke out into a big fight there, he was over there ready to help out with his teammates as well. And it was a nice play overall from Coast. I love the engagement from TSM catching Tomato out of position, but Shaggy Shank got in the way, did his job, protected his team. Variety going to be building into penetration, likely to be an Obsidian shard here coming out from Hubwa. It could be the Spear of the Magus, although a bit more execution intensive. My expectation here with the Magic focus, Variety building a much less resilient style of Hubwa, but perhaps that will be to their advantages. We saw Crushing Waves used in the last game by Game Hunter that didn't turn the team fight, although they hit 3 or 4 members. Yeah, it did hit them, but it didn't kill them. He didn't have the damage off it to be able to finish them off. So with Variety going for this sort of build, he's going to do a lot more damage, but it'll be a lot more squishy. And Game Hunter being aggressed on here, Crushing Waves not going to connect. And the
also used the Athena roll when Game Hunter basically walks away. Didn't really have to use Big Baby there. Chose to for the safety because he had a feeling Sonic Boom was coming down the line as well. So good decision overall. And you know that was 2 ultimates for 1 there, and there's not that Athena ult on cooldown for now. So keep an eye on the duo lane going aggressive against Athena Artemis.
Good news right now for TSM. Cuvo, Fred, even though he has the 2 deaths, is doing quite well in terms of farm. Everyone, all 3 of the primary cores on the team, besides the Zhonghui, sitting at 4,800 net worth, but 5,500 of variety. Mid lane here, Lobster could be in some trouble. He's actually going to go in the Gobat with the Sonic Boom. They're not able to toss him back into that Isis ultimate, and Lobster able to disengage there nicely. Perhaps one of the biggest strengths of Zhonghui, just so tanky. Yeah,
so tanky, so much sustain in his kit as well. I mean, he got aggressed on by 2 members. He got a 3rd game involved as well, but he's still alive overall. I mean, Will Weaver did go off as well from Smek, but didn't manage to follow up from that one. Lobster trying to turn the tide. Left camps go to TSM again. Right one's due to spawn. And if you see the Golden Experience, still in Coast's favor, but the gap's closing once again when this camp goes down.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that Gold Fury putting the 2,000 gold advantage in favor of Coast, and it's basically just leveled out for the rest of the game. Coast has just played a very consistent game in Game 1 and Game 2, just playing their game, and it feels like, once again, they're forcing TSM to play the Coast Blue game.
One thing to know, though, I mean, Smek is currently ahead in gold right now over Shaggy Shank as well. Levels are even, but the leading gold, take into account as well, though, the fact that they got the Gold Fury. You know?
That's
and
true.
He's still ahead. He's doing
true.
a great job smacking this lane on this Neef. It's a good call from him. He's playing it very well.
Yeah, they've definitely zoned out the Artemis, but Artemis, of course, once again, a ticking time bomb compared to Neef. Much more aggressive scaling to the late game. And we saw early on already what that passive crit can do. And pumping out damage is something that Artemis does really better than anyone else in the game in that role.
I mean, Cuba Fred looking for something on right-hand side on Variety. Not going to find it. He's 0-2 right now. And he's not having it. Honestly, he's having a real tough game so far. He has, right from the outset, went aggressive, didn't find the kill, then went aggressive again in middle lane and got picked off by the jungler again on the rotation. It's not played off for Cuba Fred on this jungler so far.
I gotta say, Cuba Fred has had a lot of trouble finding the right angles to get kills in these engagements, and I feel like
it's unusual for him.
He may even need to buy a blink here. Or, I mean, he's got a blink or a sprint to be able to get any kills in this early game.
It's so unusual to see Cuba Fred like this as well, Bob.
He's starved.
He's like the backbone of the team. He's the one that engages. He's the one that forces all these fights and all these kills for TSM. And right now, he's 0-2 and he's having a tough time, like you said, trying to find some action.
I mean, he wants to definitely make his way into beads in the late game. He wants to save for it, but if they lose this early game and Coast continues to hold, what's the point?
I mean, realistically, if you look at the lead, the experience is even, so they'll all hit level 20 about the same time. But the gold lead is at only 2,000. Now, if we get to the late stages of this game and it stays at this point, Freya does come online, you know, and then she's got that hyper carry availability to her. But then on the other side, you've got Mercury and Artemis to deal with.
Yeah, only 1 kill going the way of TSM, and it's a solo kill for Smek, so no assist code coming out either. It's a very, very tough game for them, I think. But this looks like it's going to be similar to the game we saw in game number 1 between Cloud9 and SK Gaming, where 12 minutes in, 4 kills in total. This one may be looking to go a bit late.
This one isn't looking to go late. You know why he's looking at game 2 of the original game of SK versus Cloud9 is the fact that Coast won the first game. So they don't have to go aggressive here, but they can allow TSM to make the engagements and let them make the mistakes and then reinitiate, because they're the ones that have to win this game to stay in the tournament, not Coast. Coast have an extra free game, technically. They can lose this one. So they just let TSM make the mistakes for them.
I think it's safe to say that Coast has the stronger late game in this slow-paced game. Hubwa, Mercury, and Artemis all scale extremely aggressively.
Variety in a bit of trouble, has to use the crushing wave as Big Baby's out, but now Big Baby going to be on cooldown. No mana on Game Hunter either. Is he going to be able to stay alive? He is for now, but he forced out 2 ultimates again.
Mid lane, just off the left side of the mid lane. Big engagement coming out. Cuba Fred going to pick up a kill on the Ninja Bobat. They're going to find Carino as well. Very, very big picks there coming off of that ward placement just to the left side of those mid camps, and that's going to turn into the Gold Fury. Huge rotation coming out there from Fred. Lobster's here as well. Now they're going to 4-man this down, and Smek is going to get even larger gold advantage off of this. They're going to banish out Princess Tomato. They're going to body block the dash, and they're going to take the left side mid camps off this as well. TSM is just taking control of this game.
Why is that so big, as you can see, is because Cuba Fred just got a double kill. He had nothing in this game. We were saying he's a backbone of the team. He's the one that forces the engagements, and now 2 quick kills in a row. The Gold Fury, both the middle camps overall. TSM get themselves back into that one, and that all started because Coast went aggressive.
Indeed.
And you know, like I said, if they just sit back and they let TSM make the mistakes, but they went for an opportunity when Game Hunter went in, but didn't pay off, and TSM reacted very, very well and picked up 2 kills for themselves.
Right when they realized that Athena was down, they got very aggressive and crashed the enemy jungle, and were able to secure some kills on the back of that. Also want to point out, Variety has gone Spear of the Magus here on Hubwa, so he is intending to kite in and out of these fights a lot and spam his spells. He's going to move into Tiny Trinket as well. well. Lifesteal makes some sense. He's going to basically be trying to keep himself alive with the damage that he is able to deal. Cubo Fred has finished Fatalis, which is a big item for any Freya, although he doesn't have the magic power. Enchanted Ring coming out, but Demonic Grip still a bit away. And in the meantime, Lobster working his way into a Golden Sash.
That helped out his build so much, though. Those 2 quick kills and that Gold Fury just accelerated him. He's now top gold on the team. He died the most for his team so far as well, but now he's top gold as well. Shows how much of an influence that's made to him and his build. Keep an eye on Cubo Fred now, because he will be looking for aggression. He'll be looking to try and pick up some more kills.
Good news for Coast Gaming. The Variety still the top net worth in the game at 1-0 on KD, but sitting at 7,600 net worth, just a bit ahead of the pace of Cubo Fred.
I think he needs to get beads, though. I think that's going to be important for him to get beads sooner rather than later. He's actually going for the blink, though. Combat blink possibly being picked up here, or is he just going to be greater blink?
He's going to hold it on the greater blink for a bit, and then we'll see. See if he wants to move into combat blink. I think he's going to, make the choice to sit on improve for a bit.
I mean,
it is indeed.
Not having the beads online against the Whoop coming out from Freya, as well as the fact that you're going to have Smek trying to root you in place, on top of the fact Trickstank's Cataclysm, if it connects, he's going to have an issue with not having beads available.
Mid lane, we do have a bit of engagement. The right side tier 1 does go down. Ninja Bobat in some trouble as Lobster's ultimate being channeled out. It's going to force a disengagement. Lobster taking too much damage. Or Shaggy Shank's rotation is good. Finding the kill. Trickstank quite low as well, but Freya's got an angle. Going to take to the skies here. 1, 2, 3 on a Princess Tomato. He jukes the last hit. Princess Tomato going to survive. No. One more attack coming through. Shaggy Shank in a bit of trouble. Game Hunter's going deep. This could be a big turn for TSM. Variety getting rooted out. Ultimate coming through. Not going to be enough to save his life. It is indeed Carino there as well, but this should be a tower in response for TSM.
Yeah, they can try and push onto middle lane here. They've pushed down the minion wave. Trix is very low, though, so they've got to work out who's going to tank this one up. No one feels ready for it. They're going to try and see if they can find someone else. Game Hunter wants more, though, and he's just been seen by the Carino Variety. Very wise and backing off. Game Hunter's decision there to zone them out got them that tower.
There's no ultimate available for the Mercury, so he can't get it deep into the back lines. His stun going to be purged off there nicely by the Geb. Bobat takes a lot of damage for his trouble, and TSM is going to easily take that tier 2 mid with nice positioning from Game Hunter.
Well, maybe they want to go for a bit more here. They're looking at it. They've got a full minion wave still, and that big minion is still tanking it up for the time being. Trying to push this one down as well. If they get this is a big trade in favor of TSM off a team fight that just came out of nowhere, really.
Wow, so much map control now going the way of Team SoloMid. Expect to start seeing wards coming out aggressively at the orange and red buff spots of Coast Gaming, as Team SoloMid has really taken this one firmly into their grasp. 6,000 experience, 3,000 gold, separating the teams. As we said earlier, 2,000, 3,000 gold at this stage in the game, not a huge advantage, but the experience is starting to stack up in their favor. Level 15s almost across the board for them.
Look where all the kills are. Cubo Fred.
And yeah, even with that 0-2 start, still able to find 4 kills.
I mean, that's the influence junglers can have on this game overall. I mean, they can have a bad start and still get themselves back into it. And that quick double kill just allowed them to snowball. Like Cubo, he didn't use the full of his Valkyrie to his benefit, but he still managed to pick up the kills for his team.
He's got 2,000 gold to his name right now as he's heading back. Demonic Grip going to be finished off. Plus, he's going to be able to build into his next item if he wants. It's going to be beads, 3 actually finished up, plus some wards and pots. So basically online now is Cubo. Fred likely to see a Bancroft's Talon route up to Hootie perhaps to follow this up. Maybe the Polynomicon, depending on how he wants to take it. But without any massive HP characters that need to burst through, I feel like sustained damage is going to be the better option over the Polynomicon.
That's right. I mean, when you look at TSM's composition as well, they're going to have Geb to go in there and be a frontline tank. They've got Game Hunter to be a frontline tank. They have Jean-Qui, who's technically a frontline tank as well with his playstyle. And on the back of that, they've then got a Neef with ridiculous amounts of CC and supporting a kit, as well as Freya just pulsing away onto the enemy team for that back range damage. It's such a nice team composition that going into these later stages is going to start wrecking havoc, especially because Cubo Fred's starting to get to that full nasty build.
Coast definitely a team comp that needs to be ahead at this stage in the game. They can start to...
Oh, Shaggy.
Oh, he's in a lot of trouble here. There's a Cataclysm coming out, but it's going to be countered by that Caldonian Boar, which is going to find the stun on the Cubo Fred as well as he rotates in. And once again,
Lobster
doing such
blinks in, though, and he's going to go for the big kill onto Shaggy. Shaggy's getting forced to the ultimate on Athena. Still going to drop down to Smek, which was with the World Weaver that picked him up. Even Cubo used the Valkyrie there, and you can see TSM want more. They want to continue fighting, but they should know Carino's on his way, as is Ninja Boba.
Yeah, they used a lot of ultimates there to engage. Will we see an ultimate coming out? No Sonic Boom from Mercury, but as we're saying, Coast definitely has the stronger late game, but at this period in the game, they want to be ahead because they're just so squishy. If they get to the kind of solid late stages of the mid game and they just can't aggress into that front line, they're going to have a lot of trouble even making it a late game. Nice Banish coming in. Carino taking a lot of damage for his trouble. Cubo Fred going to clean him up. Easy peasy, and there's the strength of Freya. Now it's going to be Ninja Bobat getting turned on, and he's going to get rooted out brilliantly there by Smek. Easy kills for Team SoloMid, and that's going to be a
Fire Giant, actually. They could go for it if they wanted, but they're going to go for Gold Fury for now. I mean, there's only 2 members alive, or say 3, because Shaggy did come online. Okay, maybe it's a bit safer to go for the Gold Fury now. 8-4, Gold Fury's going to drop down here, and the goldie was 4,000. Is now going to jump up again to 5,800. Experience just under 10k here, Bart.
And you were right, it is going to be the Combat Blink 4 variety coming out on that Hubwa. We actually have a lot of Blinks in this game, 3 in total. Only the level 1 on Trix Tank, but level 3 Blink available now onto Lobster to continue initiating these fights.
I mean, Combat Blink, I like Combat Blink, but the problem with Combat Blink is the cooldown is so long. It's 180 seconds. Yeah. If you take that in comparison to the Purification beads, it's 90 seconds on that. 1.5 minutes is a big difference compared to 3 minutes. On top of that, Purification beads does reset, lower your cooldowns by 5 seconds. And someone like Hubwa, instantly be able to water spout twice in a row very quickly. That's important.
It looks like we are going to see Fatalis on Game Hunter here, as Ancient Blade is picked up.
I think just chase potential.
Yeah, I think that they're saying, look, we have the frontline advantage. Yep. We have the damage advantage, at least for the next maybe 10, 15 to 20 minutes in this game. Let's go ahead and get the chase potential on. And if they can find a 1 pick, which they've been very good at doing so far, they can just chase down the rest of the team. And this is the build that got him a pentakill.
Oh, you get me excited there. I just had a moment. I'm like, oh, really? Really? Oh.
You got the feels? You got the feels?
I did. I little chill down my spine as that one came out. But, I mean, with what you're saying as well, one thing to know, what can Coast do in this team fight scenario? I'm like, who do they focus on? Do you focus on... You have to focus Kiva Fred. He's going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's got to be Fred.
But then you're going to ignore Jean-Qui. Really? Really?
I think it's just too tanky to burst down at this point, where the Warlock's has so much HP on the Lobster. Let's actually check in on that real quick. I mean, he is sitting at a fairly robust 2,156 HP.
Kiva Fred's going for Hide of the Urchin as well.
Wow. Yeah, smart stuff. I mean, he has enough damage with the Fatalis and Demonic Grip combo for some time here. He should be able to build in this Urchin and then build into his next damage item before he really is going to start feeling the effects of not having a 4th spot pickup damage item. So I think it's a smart build. Went ahead, go ahead and take him up. And as we were mentioning, now who do you go on?
Yeah, now who do you go on? I mean, do you go on Kiva Fred, who's going to be tanky as well as deal ridiculous damage? Do you go on Spec, who's going to backflip away from you and also try and root you in place while Jean-Qui's throwing ghosts everywhere in your face?
Smart thing to tank up here, I think.
It's really, really tough. I love the itemization choices coming out from TSM here. And right now, they're in a position where they just need to look for a bit of an opportunity to go for the Fire Giant now. Put the pressure on, push out the lanes a little bit. They've got not a lot to fall back to. Maybe if they can get that tier 2 tower on the right-hand side, it's going to leave Coast with nowhere to really fall back to start an engagement from and go fall back to if there's a problem.
It's definitely challenging at this point for Coast. They are up 1-0 though, as we mentioned, so they do have a game to give away if they need to. But I think they're still hungry for this one, and they do still have the better late game, as we've been mentioning throughout the broadcast so far. But TSM threatening once again down the mid lane. Trix Tank just positioning so aggressively here. He's going to actually take some minions into the jungle with him.
I mean, Coast behind in this game. They were behind in game 1, and they came back and won that finally. Fine overall. They're going to push on right-hand side now. Smek's not here. Neither is Shaggy Shank. And the aggression coming out now from both teams. But those minions doing good work. Forcing Game Hunter's ultimate, but Game Hunter just going to tank this one up with that now. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he's like, okay, sure.
Just force it out. Force out the tower overall. And maybe a late engage coming out to Taunt Lance and Lobster. Bees used immediately. And Trix Tank on the backside of the Cataclysm. Big banish. Tomatoes in the sky. I think he's going to disengage. I think this is a good call. Just disengage. No reason to carry on. Yeah. They got what they wanted.
Yeah, they did. They find the tower. No kills going down, so no reason to force any objectives at this point. They do need to be careful not to fall back too far and give up a free fire giant. So many times we've seen that happen to teams, and it looks like TSM is fully cognizant of it. And in fact, I don't think that I would have even had positioning for Lobster there. I think they could have maybe baited Coast into that. It looks like they were hungry for it. Princess Tomato taking a lot of damage. Sonic Boom coming through. Kiva Fred not in any trouble, however, as the Stone Shield comes out to prevent that CC.
Right, Tomato having to go back to base here says to them, this is the problem, because Tomato wants to go back to base to get health. If he goes back to base, they can initiate the Fire Giant. Yeah. Has he got his ultimate available? That's the question. He does. But you're going to find the Will Weaver. Now with him being dead, that's a Fire Giant. What can they do here?
Yeah, they can't stop it. No more Hog 3 available. Hog 2 on Ninja Bobat, but he's not going to be able to make it back.
They have to kill Geb. They have to kill Geb or take Geb out the fight.
Geb, but I don't think it's possible. Look, they're not even really going to contest here.
They can't.
Yeah, they can't. Down it goes. TSM Fire Giant, 22 minutes, 40 seconds in.
Oh, the crushing wave hits from Kiva Fred. Goes to the sky for using the Aegis, but can he get himself out? Combat Blink pays off for now, but that ghost hits him. It chased him all the way down, and Lobster finds a kill on him, as well as Carino. And now Shaggy Shank in a world of hurt, surrounded by the whole team of TSM with the Fire Giant. TSM's looking good for this one.
Triple kill for Lobster on the back of that, plus the Deicide for them. It's going to be a mad dash to the base now for Team SoloMid. They want to try to take at least 2 Phoenixes off of that trade. Really not a trade, really more of just a decimation. So now pushing in Princess Tomato, what can you really do? Geb, Stone Shield going to tank up the Phoenix here. 1 Phoenix will fall for sure. Likely to be 2. 20 more seconds on respawns. 15 for Bobat and Carino coming up first. Game Hunter going to get CC'd there. The Phoenix actually not falling that fast. Not very much penetration at all. In fact, no penetration available over on the side of TSM, but it should be an easy 2 Phoenixes here. Can they force the disengage from Coast? Doesn't look like it.
A long time.
TSM, 2 Phoenixes. Granted, with maybe a team that has stronger Hunter, they could have taken all 3, but 2 Phoenixes on the back of a Fire Giant and Deicide, not too shabby, but looks like they want to have a reinitiation here as Bobat's channeling the Sonic Boom, not going to let it go in, and now TSM's going to look to take the other major map objective down.
For Gold Fury. I mean, he's online right now, available. What are they going to do? The choice to recall here is a better choice overall. If Coast get it, it's only a small victory for him. I mean, 11,000 gold ahead at this stage, 15,000 experience. TSM are in full control of this one. And we said earlier, like, Coast have the chance to come back into it, but this is game 2, right? What do you do in the situation? Do you surrender and go for game 3 and just accept defeat here? Because it's very tough to come back at this stage. The way the team's built from TSM and the way they've played this one out, it's so difficult for Coast to make it happen. I mean, you saw Habwa go in there, deal great damage, but he didn't get a kill.
He did do a tremendous amount of damage there, but he's going to be building into what appears to be a Soul Reaver, which would have definitely netted him some kills there. Yeah. It's definitely a tough position for Coast, yeah.
Because I just don't want them to lose morale going into game 3, you know?
Yeah.
Because they won game 1, losing game 2, TSM show their experience more than anything else and how to deal with situations of being behind and getting themselves back into games. They take the Gold Fury now, and now you're going to see the siege out of TSM down the left-hand side because they've got to take down these last 2 towers and the final Phoenix before they can look to end. But Coast got to deal with the fire minions in both middle and the right-hand lane, and then they've got to deal with TSM.
Yeah, looking at the towers lets you know just how dire this is. No towers down yet for Team SoloMid. The final tier 2 going down shortly here in favor of Team SoloMid. Coast out of towers, only 1 Phoenix remaining, exposed.
This one.
Titan as well. They can't defend here. They have to try to make their final stand at the Phoenix. Or even try to get some kind of split push together, but with both lanes pushed out and with the fire minions, what can they do besides try to 5-man this?
Tomato's got to get a big taunt. He's got to get a big taunt.
He's got to get a big taunt, but superior initiation in favor of TSM.
Blink Crushing Wave, I expect to see it from Variety, looking for an opportunity to take out the back line, but Triggs is the one to blink in.
Smart stuff.
He's going to go Cataclysm onto Carino, force the beads off him, and now they know beads is down. You can see Lobster going in deep on the back line with his, and he's going to find a kill onto 1. He's going to go down for it, but meanwhile, Phoenix game drops, and Tomato's going to die with it.
Yeah, good luck stomping the Game Hunter now with his Fatalis. Actually, he's taking quite a bit of damage, but Cuba Fred just blowing through. There's your Deicide, and that, my friends, is a guaranteed win for Team SoloMid. They fight back, take game number 2 away from Coast, and we're going to be going to our first game 3 of the day.
That was rough. That honestly, from TSM's point of view, I thought they were in trouble when Cuba was 0-2 down and he wasn't finding anything in this game. I was like,
Yeah, it looked very dire.
I think we might lose TSM in this tournament very, very quickly, like we did with Cloud9, but they fought back well, and you can see like the look of concentration the TSM face at the end of the game is just like, okay, we did the job. They're not happy about that. They're not celebrating because they realize like they were the favorites for this overall.
They were indeed, yeah. But we can say safely that TSM has won this game. Hugo Fred battling back from an 0-2 start with 7 additional kills. We do have a quick replay available for you guys. Let's take a look at Lobster's Zhang Kui with a triple kill at the Fire Giant to really secure this game for Team SoloMid.
Yeah, I mean, watch what happens here overall with Lobster and the rest of it. We're just watching from Lobster's point of view here. You can see the whip coming out from Cuba Fred, and he's looking to do aggressive through the wall with the exorcism. And on the back of that, you can see, he's just hanging around, waiting patiently, waiting for the right sort of position to get in. He knows Tomato's very low, and what he's doing here is trying to give vision for Spec. Watch this. He chases him and gets the ward down to be able to throw it out for Tomato to find it. And that just makes it a 4v5 straight away before they even go anywhere near this Fire Giant.
Yeah, now here comes the initiation from Lobster. He realizes that they're going to try to make their way in. They start going for the Gold Fury. He resets his blink timing just to make sure that he hasn't. Here the Fire Giant goes down, and then the blink in is just disgusting. Granted, that ultimate from Variety was massive, and he combat blinked away, but as you mentioned, the Ghost chases him down. Carino going to take some damage for his trouble as well, and then it's an easy body block in on to the Artemis, and a quick another 3rd kill there for Lobster, getting that triple kill and the Deicide that set up the rest of the game. They then go on to take those 2 towers on the left side as well as the remaining Phoenixes.
But one of the big things about that whole fight that you saw there is Jonquil's normally a focus in these team fights.
Yeah.
And in this one, they knew, TSM knew they weren't focusing Jonquil. They were trying to focus Freya. They were trying to get to Smack, the backline. And that allowed Jonquil on Lobster to position himself perfectly to go in after the initial engage and start cleaning up kills with those ghosts.
Such a smart play to go ahead and reset his blink timing without taking damage from that Fire Giant and go ahead and be able to initiate, guys. But that does do it for our commentary for game number 2. Don't go anywhere. Game number 3 coming up next. But first, let's toss it over to Paul.